Hello there, and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jameson Rabbit. Today I'm joined by a man who once had a haircut named after him. I'll take the Mike Roth.
They're all named after me. It's weird.
Yeah?
Once it's made, it's just golden. It's called the Mike Roth.
Yeah.
And depending on the era that I'm getting my haircut, depends on what that means.
I've walked into many a barber shop and just pointed to the wall and say, give me the Mike Roth.
Where am I on the wall? They're usually watching me right here on this show.
It's just playing on a loop. That guy, please. This week we have a fun little special thing. It is our Oscar Awards this week. We're going to get into some reviews, and then we have our Oscar chit-chat, some predictions and awards that we're going to be handing out. But first, we have to take a look at what was on the marquee this week, and we are going to start with the newest movie from the Coen brothers. I'm talking about Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar from the writing duo, the Coen brothers. And we have, as always, an all-star cast that comes along with this. And this is set in old Hollywood. And you have Josh Brolin playing Eddie Mannix, who was actually a real person back in the MGM days. He was kind of the right-hand man to Louis B. Mayer, the fixer, as they called him, who would fix every problem, bury problems, make things disappear, make people disappear sometimes. And Josh Brolin plays him. You have George Clooney as Baird Whitlock, the #1 movie star at this time. Yeah, it is a great name. You have a newcomer, Alden Ehrenreich, playing Hobie Doyle, who is your cowboy movie star. Only does cowboy movies, and he's an interesting newcomer to the cast. You have Scarlett Johansson as Deanna Morin, who is the great diva actress of the time. Ralph Fiennes as director Lawrence Lawrence. I love that name too. Lawrence Lawrence. Tilda Swinton playing dual roles as the Thacker twins, the Hedda Hopper type, only they're twins, the tabloid reporters. We bring in Channing Tatum as Bert Gurney, a song and dance man, a Gene Kelly type, if you will. And we have, of course, Frances McDormand, always in every Coen Brothers movie. I think she's married to one of them, that's why. And, of course, Jonah Hill joined the cast. And it is all about a day in the life of Eddie Mannix as chaos swirls around him and just everything that happens in the day of a life of Eddie Mannix as he fixes problems and just all the insanity that happens. And you have George Clooney kidnapped, a #1 movie star, kidnapped. We don't know what happened to him. He's on this picture making Hail Caesar, the movie in the movie, and he's taken away. You've got the issues with Scarlett Johansson's character is pregnant, but not married. And so we need to bury that because the Thacker twins want their scoop on what's going on.
And the fixer, he also has to change people's image.
Yes. He creates your stars.
Yeah, he has your Will Rogers type character, Hobie Doyle, who all of a sudden Westerns aren't doing too well, and then they're like, okay, well, let's rebrand him.
Right.
And then they find out, well, yeah,
he can't act.
All he is a singing cowboy. That is it.
And so what I enjoy about this movie is that Eddie Mannix being a real guy, he was not a good guy. He was a bad man.
Yeah.
He did whatever was necessary to make Hollywood be Hollywood and to make MGM and their stars be marketable. Whether that meant maybe bumping off a George Reeves, okay. Forcing people to get married just for the sake of not having a child out of wedlock, hey, you're going to marry him now. Oh, okay. You know, that's just what it was.
And one of the cool scenes about this movie is he keeps on going back. He's Catholic, and he keeps on going back so he can confess his sins. Right. And the reverend there, he's just like, man, you're not this bad. Come on, you're every 24 hours.
Too often.
What to hear?
Yeah, and so like every Coen Brothers movie, I love the background scenery. Everything going on in the background is just lush and rich. There's always something going on. It looks beautiful. This is not one of their, like, No Country for Old Men. They're serious, really thought-provoking ones. This is a fun movie more than anything. And there's just fun characters more than anything. And there's beautiful sequences of, like, Scarlett Johansson has a water dancing sequence that's beautifully choreographed, and Channing Tatum's dance. I mean, I'm thinking I'm watching Channing Tatum's Gene Kelly type dance sequence, and it's a full scene, and I'm going, when are the Coen Brothers just going to make a musical? Because they obviously love it. They put one into a lot of their comedies, get musicals. let's just make a full-blown musical.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Every single one of these characters were pretty brilliant, and they had some great scenes, like the shots. You have one of Channing Tatum on a rowboat, and there's 12 guys, and it kind of reminiscent of watching George Washington
Across the Potomac.
Yeah, it's like that is hilarious. And all the characters, they reflect someone else from history, but they are their own characters. They are just awesome. I loved Hobie Doyle.
Hobie Doyle. The scene, one of my favorite scenes was the interplay between Hobie and Ray Fiennes' character, the pretentious director, Lawrence Lawrence. And everything between them was just, it had me cracking up because it was awkward comedy, and the two of them played it so beautifully, and it was really, really funny, of this just frustration building on set.
I like how, and this is not even due to his voice acting. Of course, Hobie cannot do voice acting at all, but you could tell he was a great actor in presence, because in that same scene just a little bit earlier, he's walking to a couch, and as he's sitting, you're like, wow, look at that poise, look at that man, he's going to be someone. And then once he opens up his mouth, you're like, oh.
It was really inspiring, and this kid, I'm really impressed by him. I mean, I've never seen him in anything before, and I thought he was great. I loved the moments where Josh Brolin, I mean, because the movie is Josh Brolin's movie. It's his vehicle. The pregnancies and the communists and the kidnapping of stars happens around him. And there's a moment where he's just sitting there brooding while George Clooney's character, Baird Whitlock, is just ranting about this and that and this and that. And you see Josh Brolin's character just brooding and anger building, and just he blows up. And I was laughing so hard. It was perfect.
This movie, there's a lot of scenes that were absolutely brilliant. Like you said, the actors were great. The characters were great. The sceneries were just mind-blowingly awesome. It was just beautiful. There's a couple of things I did not like.
Okay.
The narrator. I don't know where he came from, where they got him. He only showed up like a couple of times. I thought they should have thrown him out. And also, as a story, it revolves around Eddie Mannix, 24 Hours, but it felt like there should have been 3 different stories, but they really weren't. This was really just a movie that was 24 hours around Eddie Mannix, and I didn't really kind of figure that out until the very end. I was like, wait a minute. That was it? I was hoping for some more character development or
because this isn't. I mean, this isn't like
conflict or
this
something.
isn't like a story. It's just this happens every. The thing is he reacts so calmly to everything because this happens every day. Something like this happens every day. My star got kidnapped. The communists are trying to take over. My star's doing this. Again, tomorrow. It's gonna be the same thing. And I love how he plays that. Like, yeah, this is what we do every day. I'm the best at it.
Yeah.
I'm getting courted to go somewhere else, but I can't live without this chaos.
I can't see why. He did not look like he was having fun. And the way they built it as a comedic mystery, but there was no mystery because Eddie did not care. He did not care what the question was.
He just has to bury
He was just like, all right, let's get this done.
Just keep the Thacker twins from figuring out what's going on, so they put it in their tabloids, and that's, it's just a day. What did you give Hail Caesar, by the way?
Well, I gave it a 3.
Okay.
Like I said, they had brilliant scenes. This is beautiful to look at. This reminds me, we have a little bar in Madison where all they do is play great movies that look great in the background with no sound. This would be perfect for this atmosphere. If you're not paying attention to it. If you're paying attention to it, I feel like it misses a little bit. It's not seamless. That's why I gave it a 3. I wish I could have gave it more, but it is still a good movie. I'm not bad-mouthing it. I'm just saying this could have been a lot more for me because it was brilliant in a lot of places, but it wasn't smooth.
All right. I give it 4 stars. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it. I loved these characters. I loved the representation of who they, going, oh, that would be that guy. That would be this lady in real Hollywood. And I dug it. I dug because I love this period of Hollywood, this transition period of Hollywood. At the time, the studio system is trying to stay afloat, and I thought it was really funny, and I love the chaos going around. And then it's like it's done. we'll wake up tomorrow to a whole new set of problems. I really dug it. So 4 stars for me. But what do you have next on the marquee?
Well,
sir?
we have a classic. If everybody knows Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, yes.
It's a classic book. It's been taught many times. But if it was a little stale for you, they decided to throw in zombies. And this was a book that was written a few years ago and then brought to a movie by the director Burr Steers.
Sure.
It's a story of a woman named Miss Bennet, and she needs to marry off her daughters to the upper Appalach of society. She wants all her daughters to marry wealth and prominent people, and she has one daughter that just doesn't click very well. She doesn't want to give up her fighting ways. She likes to fight zombies.
Right.
She trained in China, and there's an annoying somewhat suitor.
There's several suitors in this movie.
Played by Matt Smith, who actually did a great job. He's
Yeah.
a pastor, and he couldn't get the prettiest of the daughters, so he goes to the second best, which is Elizabeth, played by Lily James. There's actually a lot going on. In
this is the Pride and Prejudice
This is
story.
Pride and Prejudice, but instead of a time of war, it's a time of zombies.
Because the plague has created zombies.
Yes.
That's how we get our zombies.
Yeah.
The Black Plague created them.
And there's another character named...
Uh-oh.
I'm blanking out.
Mike
I'm sorry.
Mike cannot read his notes.
Mr. Darrell, it's played by Sam Riley, who I really didn't care for in this at all.
Yeah, he had an interesting way of acting.
Yeah, he was antagonistic. He was always against Elizabeth. He was a little prideful.
Oh,
He was a little...
might have had prejudice.
He was a little prejudiced, and he did not like the whole Bennets marrying off the daughters kind of thing. He thought that was terrible.
Because he was there to fight zombies.
He was there to fight zombies, but in a way, so was Elizabeth. And even though they hated each other, they end up liking each other in the end, kind of thing.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's a classic
It's
tale.
super sweet. It's basically Pride and Prejudice,
yeah,
though, and then zombies kick in the door every once in a while.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's the way it was shot. It was actually pretty beautiful. The humor was all right. To me, there was a little bit too much Jane Austen. It definitely felt like, and this was the intent of the book, was he threw in zombies in order to make it more palatable for modern day audience. Most people don't read Jane Austen for enjoyment anymore, but they do read zombie film books and stuff like that. So I did find it really humorous at points where, in the book, they were just arguing. They're yelling about something or one another, but in the movie or in the book of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, they are fighting. They're sword fighting, and they're yelling at each other, and I thought that was pretty clever.
I got to ask you, though, what did you think about the fact that these zombies are able to run, set traps? I mean, they're setting traps for people. It's a different zombie than we're used to. A zombie who can think. It's not your typical zombie.
Well, I believe I did not read Pride and Prejudice,
I
but I believe it was in a time of war, and they just kind of replaced whoever they were warring with zombies.
Yeah, it's just shocking. It's kind of weird to see zombies like laying traps for people and thinking.
I think it's starting to kind of go in that direction for zombies. We have the iZombie show. That's
I don't mind the running
now.
zombie. I'm a fan of that, but the rest of it, I kind of
zombie.
Yeah, kind of.
You don't like
wait
that?
a minute, wait. But I thought there was some really good scenes in here. I thought there was some terrific jump scares.
Yeah.
There's a great opening scene. I thought this had a really wonderful opening scene that kind of set the pace for it, and a really good jump scare as there's just a gunshot to a head. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming. Gotcha. I thought there was beautiful slow-mo scene of ladies in formal gowns slaying zombies with efficiency. I was like, that's a cool scene right there in the slow-mo. I dug that. I thought there was a lot of good comedy. I wasn't a huge fan of the zombie effects, specifically the CGI zombie effects.
There really
that
wasn't.
did not work for me.
For a zombie film, there really wasn't that much zombie.
Right.
Which was one of the things that I was a little thrown off. This is mostly Pride and Prejudice. People who always wondered what Pride and Prejudice was about but could not stomach watching one of the airings on BBC or something
sure.
like that because it is dry. It's very dry.
Go see the one with Tom Hardy in it, though. That's a good version.
Really?
If you're going to watch a Pride and Prejudice version, the version with Tom Hardy in it is good.
I've never known anybody to say Pride and Prejudice was good.
It can be good, trust me.
Except for, people literature.
I actually kind of dug this movie. I like the kind of flowery prose going on, and then zombie kill. And I like that. I see this being like a guilty pleasure for me. Was it good? I don't know, but I think it was just enough in there for me that I could see this being one of those guilty pleasures that every once in a while I throw in, be like, this is fun because it's different.
It definitely was different. I thought it went on a little too long, but I did think it was funny, and there was a lot of. It was more complex than your average horror movie.
Right.
That you had your whole main story of wedding off the girls and the girls trying to find their own identity and finding suitors and having that not work out, but finding someone else. And everybody was a different character and stuff like that. I enjoyed that. It was more complex than your average horror comedy.
I like that.
But still, it was
Still not great, right?
Jane
I
Austen.
gave it 3 stars.
You gave it-
myself. Yeah, 3 stars.
Yeah, I give it 3 stars myself.
It was entertaining. It was
Yeah.
fine. I'm cool with it.
I laughed a couple of times.
I definitely did. Next up here on the show, though, as promised, it is Oscar award season coming up. The Oscars are February 28th. And so we are going to hand out some Oscar awards of our own and make some predictions on our real reviews Oscar awards. Like we got music playing here. So I am going to read some categories. And we are going to give our picks for what we have there. So we are going to start off, sir, with the Best Supporting Actor nominations. For the Oscars, we have...
Start with the best.
You're right. It is. So the nominations are, you have Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. You have Sylvester Stallone in Creed. You have Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight. Christian Bale in The Big Short. And Tom Hardy in The Revenant. Sir, if you have to make your prediction on who will get the Oscar on Oscar night, who do you think?
I think they're going to give it to Sly Stallone.
Okay.
Just because, he's been around for a long time and
it's time, huh?
And I really do believe that our Oscars are a little political.
You think? No.
I don't think they really truly find the best. I think they find what the person that they want to
They like to give
highlight for
Lifetime
that year.
Achievement Awards to people, too.
And
I've seen it 100 times.
I think with Stallone being the age he is and all the things he's done, I think they really want to give him an award. And
Absolutely. Well, who would you give your award to? The Mike Roth Award.
I kind of did the same thing in my head.
Okay.
I gave it to Tom Hardy as Reverend. Is he the best supporting actor of the year? I don't know. He's up there, but
he was very good.
He did so many good things this year, and
You have
to give it to him for something.
A lot of quantity in there.
So here you go.
Very good. My predictions, I think, on Oscar night, I think Sylvester Stallone will win.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just do. And this is a really loaded category. I love a lot of these nominees. I really do. But I think Stallone will win. And when it comes right down to it, my award, I would give it to Stallone. I want to see him win. I want to root for him to win. I was cheering when he's been winning other awards, and that's who I would give my award to. He made a Rocky movie more than a Rocky movie again, and I dig that.
Yeah,
so.
this is the best Rocky movie that he made.
Since Rocky?
Since Rocky.
Yes. Next up, sir, next category, we have the Best Supporting Actress. Nominations are Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs, Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, Alicia Vikander in Danish Girl, Rooney Mara in Carol, and Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight. Your prediction for the Oscar night, sir?
Now, unfortunately, because most of these movies are limited release, I don't get to see all of them. Matter of fact, I've only seen one.
But sometimes you got to put your ear to the ground, and who do you think they're going to give it to?
And I'm thinking they're giving it to Alicia Vikander for
the Danish Girl. Right.
And
yeah,
I'm just going to have to go with it.
Sometimes you just got to put your nose to the wind. I'm going to go with all these metaphors about nature and how you track things. I'm not a tracker, but who do you give your award to?
And I'm totally off the board on this. I would give it to Olivia Cook for Meet Earl and the Dying Girl.
Okay.
I thought she did a phenomenal job. There she is. Look
She's
at that.
so great.
But if you haven't seen this movie, please see it. If you haven't watched our other show,
if you haven't seen
where we
us
said
at all
go
in the
see
last
it,
couple of months, yeah, you know.
go see it. She did a phenomenal job
really
in
good.
that, and I would like to see her get some credit for it. It will not happen, though.
She gets it here, though.
She
right
gets it
here.
here.
You're welcome, Olivia.
Olivia Cook, if you
we
would like to come
appreciate
to our
you.
show and accept your award, we will give it to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think just putting my nose to the grindstone. I think that I think that Alicia Vikander is also going to get the win. For me, I think I would give it to Rooney Mara for Carol. I think she was really extraordinary in Carol, and that's who I give my award to.
I wish I saw that.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Check it out. Next category, sir. Best lead actor in a motion picture. We have Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant, Matt Damon in The Martian, Eddie Redmayne in The Danish Girl, Bryan Cranston in Trumbo, and Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs. Your prediction?
My prediction is Leo DiCaprio. I think they want to give him the award
he's
for all
preordained.
the other things that he has done. I do not think he deserves Best Actor, but he will get Best Actor for this because he should have gotten it a long time ago.
So who do you think? Who would you give Best Actor?
Actually, would go right off that list. I would give it to Bryan Cranston for Trumbo. I thought that was a fantastic film. He played that character beautifully, and I'd like to see him in more stuff. And having an Oscar really helps you be in other stuff.
He was a lot of fun in that. I agree with you on DiCaprio. I think it's kind of preordained that he's going to win. It would be a massive upset for him not to win, I think, because it's felt like for a year that Hollywood's going, he's getting it this year. He's getting his award.
Yeah.
So I think that it would be a real FU if they didn't give it to him. But for me, I agree. I don't think it's his best performance even, much less the best performance of this year. I would give it to Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs. I thought he was terrific in that, playing Steve Jobs and being the center of a swirling chaos that went throughout that movie. He really impressed me in that movie. So that's who I would give my award to. Next category, though, we have the best lead actress. We have Jennifer Lawrence for Joy, Brie Larson for Room, Saoirse Ronan for Brooklyn, Cate Blanchett for Carol, and Charlotte Rampling for 45 Years. What's your prediction, sir?
Prediction, Brie Larson, The Room. I have not seen it, but that's my prediction anyhow. As one that I would pick again off the list somewhat, I am going back to Alicia Vikander, and not for The Danish Girl, but for Ex Machina. She was fantastic. Her control of movements, the ability to give off emotion without giving a voice to that emotion. It was just brilliant.
I thought she was robbed. I thought she should have been nominated because I thought she was really spectacular in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought that movie got under-recognized for how good it was.
Oh, yeah.
Other than technical achievements, I really dug that movie. I agree. I think Brie Larson is going to win on Oscar night. I think, and I think she deserves it. She's my pick. I think she's hands down the best I've seen all year long in lead actress role. Her and Tremblay were the basis of this movie, and I thought the two of them played beautifully together, and she was really believable in that movie. So that's who I give my award to. Next up, we have the Best Director. We have Lenny Abramson for Room. We have Adam McKay for The Big Short. We have Tom McCarthy for Spotlight. Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu for The Revenant. And we have George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road. And who do you think will walk away with the award Oscar night?
Again, out of politics, I think they would give it to George Miller.
Yeah?
Just because, most of these other movies a lot of people have not heard. This would be finally, they'd be able to say, hey, we're going to give it to a guy. He's done movies. You guys all know him. You've seen the movie. Here's an award. Now you could,
Now, do you think they're going to recognize a Mad Max movie for Best Director? That would be a huge thing for the Academy to actually. That'd be like giving George Lucas an award.
I think that would be that would get people talking, and really, George, he deserves it. If you've seen Mad Max, and you've seen Mad Max, it is beautifully shot.
Well, you don't have to convince me.
The action is spot on through the whole thing. It was a great movie. It was put together well, and
So who do you give your award to, though?
Who would I give it to? I would probably give it to Alex Garland for Ex Machina. Again, he wrote it, he directed it. It was a fantastic movie.
It really is. It really is. Good choice. I think that come Oscar night, I think that the Academy is going to go back-to-back years with Iñárritu for The Revenant. He won it last year for Birdman, and I really do, because this is an Academy movie. This is full-blown Academy movie. He's an Academy director. I think this is the best category in the main categories. I think this is so tight. All five of these directors are incredible, and there's five more that I would put on this list, your guy being one of them. And I don't think Adam McKay is going to win for The Big Short. As incredible as I thought his direction was for it, he's kind of an outsider. He's a comedic director. This is his first series role. He's not getting one. I think Lenny Abramson is a little lesser known. I don't think he's going to get it. I think they love Iñárritu, and he did a beautiful job directing that movie. I think he's going to walk away with it. I don't give it to him, though, myself. I give it to George Miller. I think George Miller did an amazing job and took a movie that you can marginalize and go, it's a Mad Max movie, and made it incredible, and made it beautiful, and made it, took a franchise that has been long dead, and made it the movie to talk about. And I really think he should be recognized for that. It was really incredible.
You know what? I bet he'll get it. I really do. I really do.
We'll see. The final category, the big one we have, of course, is Best Picture for 2015. We have 8 movies in this category. We have Mad Max, Fury Road, The Martian, Bridge of Spies, Room, Spotlight, Brooklyn, The Big Short, and The Revenant. Your prediction, sir, for that night?
I believe number 1 will be Big Short. I think they, again, politically, they want to highlight this, but they're not going to give award for anything else that Big Short does.
All right.
That's my prediction. So instead of giving them award for anything else, they'll give them Best Picture.
Right. Who do you give that award to?
Ex Machina.
Ah, there we go. I love it. It's a great movie, man. Rewatch it if you haven't. It is a good time.
We were lucky enough to, it was a limited release, but we were lucky enough to see it free downtown at the UW.
Yeah,
it was a great
The
time.
Cinematheque. Little plug for the Cinematheque. You're a great place. I actually think that the award is going to go to Spotlight. I think Spotlight is the movie the Academy is going to recognize. I think they're going to split their votes on director and Best Picture, which they never used to do, but they have been doing more and more recently. And I think that The Revenant and I think Spotlight are the two Academy movies that have the messages and things that they like. And I can definitely see them giving it to them. Me, I give it to Room. Room was the best movie I saw this year. It was my number 1 movie this year. I think it was just incredible, and the emotions that it stirred in me, and it's so good. So I give it to them, but I really don't think Room stands a chance. I do think it will be Spotlight, but we shall see.
I really wish these things wouldn't come out in limited release. I mean, we could get Bad Grandpa and all these other really low caliber movies, but Oscar-nominated things we can't get at our theater for some reason.
But we will have, of course, the Oscars is February 28th, so we will have our recap after that and talk about who did win and what ended up happening and who ran across the stage naked. Boy, wasn't that crazy. But
It was me.
quickly before we go, though, let's take a look at what is coming out the weekend of February 19th with our Coming Soon. We have 3 movies coming out that weekend. The first movie is Race, the Jesse Owens biopic. Looks pretty interesting to me. We also have Risen, which is all about the Roman soldier who is in charge of guarding the tomb during Christ's burial and resurrection, seen through the eyes of this Roman. And we also have the horror movie of the week, The Witch, which is a really highly anticipated horror movie.
I'm looking forward to it. I kind of like how Risen is a lot like Hail Caesar. You do know that, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I actually wrote that in my notes as I was watching Hail Caesar saying, we have a movie like this coming out in a couple weeks. No doubt about it. Those are our coming soons, though, for February 19th. Before we leave you, though, of course, we have to thank our sponsors, Marcus Theater, the Palace here in beautiful Sun Prairie. Thank you for having us. Thank you for showing us these movies. We'd love to have some other movies there, but you know what? We do love that you sponsor our show. We do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
I also want to say if you want to find more from us, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Just search Real Reviews TV. You can find all that there. Mike, we are on, I believe this is our 95th episode of Real Reviews.
Cow. What are we doing special?
Boy, I don't know. Streaking across the stage. I already told you. If you want to see the previous 94 episodes, you can do so at ksun.tv. You can search through there and find them all. It's a good time. Watch our set become something beautiful.
Yeah. Watch your wardrobes change.
It does.
Watch mine stay the same.
Haircuts and beards transform. It's an amazing thing. But go there, check all that out. This next episode, we will be reviewing Deadpool will be the big review. Also, Zoolander 2 and How to Be Single will be next week. But until that time, my name is Jameson.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.